and being an artist in residence, and really about, I just want everyone to know about my amazing friend, Sarah Bailey, and what a talented artist and seamstress she is, and everything in between. So Sarah, I've had the opportunity to collect several of your art pieces. So thank you very much for.
You've been a very good supporter.
I'm really, I lots of joy. So I love looking at them. But you and I have had an opportunity to work together the past couple of days because you helped me with getting some masks for a friend of mine who's a physician and for her mother. So I wanted to just, I think in this time when we're all sheltered in place and at home, it's important that we're really hyper local and we support each other's businesses and just get the word out about the talents and all of the opportunities that and the entrepreneuring spirit that you have and that we all have. And so I wanted to just introduce my fabulous friend, Sarah Mills Bailey, and let you visit a little bit about what you are doing with your kids while you're in your residency, your artist in residency, and during this quarantine or the shelter in place time. So tell us about you and what you do.
Thank you. So I am a contemporary abstract artist. My artwork is at the San Antonio Artist Collective at La Cantera. When they're open, you can actually see my work on their website right now since the gallery's closed with the COVID-19 shutdown of everything. You can also see my artwork on my own website, which is sarahmillsbailey.com. One of my recent pieces is behind me, I guess that way. But in the past week or so, I've really stopped painting and have focused on what we can do to be of service to our community right now. And prior to working with abstract art, I have owned a very small company that creates gifts and clothes for children. So my oldest daughter, who's 15, and I have joined forces. I kind of made her in the beginning, but now she's helping willingly, a little more willingly. And we are making masks for medical professionals or people who need the added level of protection. And so we have all different types of fabric, and we are really having a good time putting together just actually a really fun product for a time that's really scary. So my daughter is a freshman at Alma Heights High School, and so she's started with her online classes this week. She'll go upstairs to her room, have an online class for an hour or so, come back downstairs to my home studio here. And she is the one who's responsible for making all of these fabric ties. And she'll cut them and iron them, and she's not sewing them in place. But she had never touched an iron before. And so this is a way for her to be of service, for me to be of service, using fabrics that I already have on hand. And the one thing that we have done is we've ordered these carbon activated filters. They have not been delivered yet, but our masks have a pocket in them, so you can actually put this filter in between the two pieces of cotton for an added level of protection. So that's one thing that we're doing here to be of service and to keep ourselves busy. I do have a 2-year-old, which is 2.5. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, no, that was exactly what I was going to ask. You incorporate, you can read my mind. How do you incorporate having the girls at home and working and then making them also be a part of what you're creating?
So the 2-year-old is really not a part of it. I mean, she has, and I can actually, we have some pictures. She'll just throw all the fabric on the floor after it's been washed, and she rolls in it and plays with it. I mean, which is great for her, but not really productive. So the best thing that my husband and I have found is that there are two parts of this whole quarantine that are sort of keeping us sane. The first thing is we have to get outside. And that sounds like this really simple and basic principle. But if we stay cooped up inside, we all go just a little bit more nutty than we normally are. And the second thing is that everybody has to have their own downtime. And if you sleep, watch TV, listen to music, it doesn't matter how you spend that time. But I think with all of us together, 24/7, we're not really used to this much closeness, that we have to give ourselves a little bit of grace, give our family a little grace and a little space. So my oldest daughter is very good about taking a shift with the baby. We're all sort of juggling baby time. So the baby has some activities. But the two things for us are being outside and then having a little downtime that's just for that individual. Oh, wait, I think I might have lost you.
Oh, there you are again.
Hey, I don't know what happened.
We're still live. So I heard everything you said, and then you were talking about taking turns, and you just couldn't hear me.
Okay, so yeah, you kind of froze. I don't know if it's something here, but there you go. That's live entertainment for you.
I listen to them every day, so they were my inspiration. Sorry about that.
Right.
So you were talking about being.
Oh, wait, I'm losing you again. Okay, wait, you're cutting in and out. I'm kind of hearing a smidge, and then I lose you.
She's frozen, but maybe.
Are you there?
Oh, I'm there. I'm here.
Okay, you're frozen, but I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you too. I think everyone has taken really good heed of our city's advice, and everyone is sheltering in place at home, and so we're all using the internet at the same time.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Sorry to our audience, but I wanted to visit about your artwork before we get totally disconnected. And I was asking about.
Oh.
Well, good.
Okay, there you are. I can hear you. Okay.
I was asking about where you find your inspiration for your artwork, because to me it's very organic, and probably a lot of it comes from the outdoors. So visit with me about your artwork.
So, I think everybody's life has parts that are really tough, and everybody processes those things differently, and everybody's, you have a different mountain that you've got to deal with. And I think for me, the parts of my life that have been the most painful, I have just sort of bottled up, and I just kind of keep going. And so for my art, it's the one place in my life where I feel like I can really let my emotion out and express it. But I don't want to put sadness on canvas. To me, that's not therapeutic. And so my goal is to imbue any canvas that I'm working with, the end result, even if it took a lot of tears to get to the end, I want it to end with just this feeling of peace and love. And life is not peace and love. I mean, life is really hard. Even on a really good day, it can be really hard. And so I think I take, it's not necessarily my inspiration, but that's my goal when a canvas is finished. Because sometimes it takes stages of these canvases, and I'm going through really painful memories and experiences, and the canvases are really dark and kind of twisty, and not that there's anything wrong with putting that out there, but for me personally, I want to end with kind of peace and love. And I do get a lot from nature, from being at the beach, which is just, like for me, the most heavenly place on earth. We're at the barn a lot. I think we're a real outdoor family. We're not hiking and running marathons, but we really do try to be outdoors. And so there's a lot of inspiration in the colors that you see. I can't create that, like it's pretty amazing. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but maybe.
For sure. And then tell me about Serafina's threads. How did that, have you always sewn? And
So no, when my oldest daughter was 5, she wanted to redo her room, and she wanted it to be a pink and orange room. And I have a background in microbiology. I worked in molecular genetics. And so the best thing I could do for her is just Google pink and orange bedding. This was 10 years ago. And I found something from Neiman Marcus, and the whole bed set was, I don't know, $4,000, which A, was out of my budget, and B, I didn't think was quite appropriate for a 5-year-old at the time. So I,
year old either.
right? Yeah. So I bought a sewing machine, and I Googled pink and orange fabric, and I sat down and I taught myself how to sew.
Oh, wow.
And my 5-year-old daughter and I created a actually pretty amazing pink and orange room.
Oh, cool.
A quick backstory is that she had epilepsy, and I could no longer work because of the amount of seizures she was having. So I was then a semi-retired microbiologist at home, really dedicating my life to her. And so we used that opportunity to look at fabrics and colors together, and what does this feel like, and what does this look like together? And so it really became sort of a learning opportunity for both of us. I started making clothes.
Well, how cool to get to do that again together now.
10 years later, like who thought? Because, she won't let me make clothes for her. And that's how Serafina Threads started. I was making clothes for her, and then close family friends. And it just sort of developed into a business after that. And after my daughter reached a certain age, the clothes that I'm making are very conservative and for young children. And she's 15, and I'm not as cool as Urban Outfitters. I mean, Urban Outfitters is cool. I'm not that cool. So for her to come back into, a studio setting with me and work with fabric, and this time in a very different capacity, not as a 5-year-old, but as a 15-year-old, and really being of service, it's kind of uncanny. It's pretty amazing.
Well, that is really cool. I love that experience, and I love you first and foremost.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Artwork and all of your talents. I'm just so impressed by you. And I think that I don't want to keep you a secret. I want to share you with everyone in the community, because you really are an amazing artist. And so thank you very much for what you guys are doing today, yesterday, and probably tomorrow too, helping our community and protecting us all. And
we're going to be here making masks, and hopefully with a bunch of, here, I'll show you another couple with some fun fabrics, just so they're fun. I mean, if you're going to have to wear a mask, it should be fun, right? And then hopefully in the not too distant future, I'll get back to painting, and finishing I don't know if you can see it. There's one over to the side that I'm working on, but in the meantime, Teddy Roosevelt, do with what you have where you are. And that's really how we try to live our life. We don't always do it, but that's our goal. And so I think in this instance, we really are doing what we can. And then hopefully I'll start painting again soon. But thank you so much, Melissa. You're like my favorite people in the whole world. And this was actually really fun to get to talk to you. So thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing with us. I'm sorry we had a few technical difficulties, but I know we're going to put up your website links in the comments,
okay,
so that people can find you. Because like I said,
SerafinaThreads.com and SarahMillsBailey.com for art and any kind of children's clothing or gifts. And the masks are not on the website because that is not a product for sale. These are donated to people who are in need of them. So that's not something that's listed as something that we're selling.
Well, thank you very much for everything you're doing for our community. And I am really looking forward to the opportunity to get to collaborate with you in the future. And we'll keep we'll keep going, and hopefully the next time I see you will be in person. But if not,
yeah, I hope so.
We're now going to be FaceTime friends.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I love your studio. So congratulations on your new space, and
Appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
It was great. It was so great. It was great. I don't know that I stopped it, but this really wants to